happy to have you on. You're actually like one of our first guests outside the team, right?
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah. So
Congratulations.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
you're like my best friend. You know that. So I always thought about you. I know your story, and that's why I called you, for you to really share your opportunity, your story, and like where you come from, what you do, and like your life. You know what I mean? This is the NextGen podcast where we talk about, or like share stories and talk about people that need to hear the encouragement. You know, like they need to be inspired. They need to know that they have discipline to become someone or something in life. And they're not the only ones that have setbacks and mountains that they go through. And it's everyone. Everyone has their own story, and I love your story. So I wanted to invite you over to have you and share your story. I want you to start with like where you come from, what you do, and who you are.
Sounds good. So before we get started, I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to be here. I want to wish you guys success on this new journey, on this new project that you guys have. And I know how determined you are. I know how determined your friends are. So I know this will be a good opportunity for you guys. And everything is going to go right.
Thanks, bro.
So just introducing myself real quick. My name's Nick, or Nicholas. Everybody knows me as Nick. I was born in Florida, here in South Florida, more specific, Coconut Creek. I was born and raised here. And my family's from here. My brothers were born here also. My parents are Brazilian. So I have a Brazilian background, American Brazilian. I'm a soccer player, professional soccer player. I've been playing soccer since I was a little kid, I think around like 3-4 years old, as long as I can remember, to be honest. It's been a good journey. I've been learning new things every single day. You know, I've been through a bunch of stuff in my life. I'm currently 22 years old. I just turned 22 in February. So yeah, I just living life, running after my dream and seeing what God has for me in the future.
Definitely. Yeah. So yeah, I already know that, but everyone else needs to know. What I wanted to know is, how did you start playing soccer? Like, where you started from, what were your goals, and where have you played?
So coming from a little kid, most of the little kids, one of my first presents when I was a boy, when I was a child, actually was a little soccer ball.
Right.
I have some videos with my dad, some old clips when I was maybe 1 or 2 years old, just kicking the ball around in the house. You know, my dad just playing as a goalie in the living room and me just kicking the ball. So I think that's where it kind of started. That's where the passion started to kind of kick in. And just as I got older, as a young kid, I just always liked the sport. I always loved it. You know, my family has a soccer background. I was always involved with it. Like with my dad, you know, always to be around. Like he used to go play his pickups when he was younger, and he used to take me as a little kid. I used to be on the side of the field. He used to say that I used to be on the side of the field like crying like crazy when I was a little kid, you know. But yeah, that's just how it started. I started off in a small local team here in South Florida called Brazilian Twisters. You played there too when you were younger too, so you know about that. It's a small local club where a lot of our friends used to play there. And as the years are going, I played for Brazilian Twisters for a few years. Then I started bouncing back and forth for some clubs. And when I turned 14, we decided to have a big like move or a big decision in my life, which was to go to Brazil. I decided with my family, my dad, my mom, we wanted to make that gap because in Brazil, the soccer, you know, is at a higher level, is more competitive. So I kind of wanted to take that step and take that challenge for me. So when I was 14, I moved. I moved by myself originally. I tried out for a big team in Brazil called Flamengo, one of the biggest teams, or is the biggest team in the world. In Brazil. And one of the biggest in the world. So I started off in the youth academy there for U14. I ended up making it there, so I moved. My parents stayed here in the U.S., my brothers, so it was kind of hard at first, that transition, you know, staying away from your family and trying to go after what...
You were very young, too.
Very young, yeah. What my dream was, which is to be a professional. And it was a great experience, you know. Met a bunch of new people, the culture, which I was kind of used to already because my family's from Brazil and stuff like that, but never really lived it the day by day, you know. So living it day by day is very different.
Sure.
And yeah, that's where I started off there. And then I played there for about 2.5 years. And I bounced off to another Brazilian club, a big club there in Brazil also, named Vasco da Gama. Stayed there for another 1.5 years. And I got loaned out to another smaller team in a city named Goiânia there to get some more playing time, because at the time I wasn't really getting a lot of opportunities at the club. So yeah, that was the best option for me at the time. And
How old were you then?
so when I moved, it was in 2015.
Mhm.
I was 14 years old,
Okay, yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. And I stayed there at the first club, Flamengo, for about 2 years.
Mhm.
And then I went to Vasco State for another year and a half.
So you're what?
17,
Yeah.
17,
Yeah.
17,
So I
18.
stayed from like 14 until I would
16,
say-
17, 8,
Yeah.
17, 18.
Yeah, in Brazil. I moved back in 2020. So fast forward, I moved back in 2020. Stuff wasn't going for me like as I thought it would be there. The opportunities were decreasing. Everything was like kind of like,
It's a hard competitive
yeah,
country.
it was closing up. So I saw, look, the opportunities are not as great for me here, and I'm gonna try back home.
So is this like a semi-pro or is this like a
No,
professional?
pro.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, so yeah. But
In Brazil, it was
There you go.
an academy team.
Oh, okay.
Academy
Okay.
team.
yeah. So I went
But like
to-
for the professional club, like as you get better, you start going up and you like possibly go into the professional team and first team.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's academy.
Gotcha.
So the club I tried is the club, and it's a professional club. They have the first team, and then they have the academy, is like from U11 until U20,
No way.
and then
Right, so are you getting paid?
yeah. So the youth kids, they have called youth contracts. You get like what they call is how can I explain it? It's like to cover your expenses, like
Okay.
your daily stuff.
Yeah,
So it's
your
not
living
much.
expenses.
Yeah, living expenses. It's not much as young kids, but you earn your little money,
And they provide you housing and all that stuff.
Yeah, they have dorms at the club.
Nice. Okay.
So if you needed, most of the kids come out of state,
Yeah.
a lot of the kids come out of
For
state.
sure. I'm assuming
So
so, right?
yeah, so they stay in the dorms, and most of the kids have agents too. Most
Do you
of
have an agent?
yeah, I had an agent at the time,
Nice, dude.
and yeah, and you usually receive some money from the agent too, so you get your little money,
Yeah.
to cover your expenses as a young kid, buy something here and there, like your
Mhm.
shoes when you want.
Sure.
stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So yeah, that was my experience there, and when it was 2020, so I stayed from 2015 until 2020 in Brazil, and then I decided to move back and decided to try to become pro here in the U.S. I thought I would have more opportunities since I'm American also, so it would be easier for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't cover a foreigner spot because most of the clubs, they have limits of foreign players who are not American. So since I was American, I'm like, you know what, let me go back to the U.S. and try. I had a great time here in Brazil, but just things aren't going my way.
What teams did you try out for here in the United States?
So I moved back in 2020. I tried out for a few teams. USL Championship, which is second division here in the U.S.
Mhm.
Yeah, some of them didn't go as planned until last year. Last year, I tried out for a club named Minnesota United.
Okay.
And that's when
Obviously
I got
in Minnesota, right?
yeah, Minnesota.
Yeah.
All right.
And I was happy to be able to sign my first professional contract there last year.
No shit, man.
So yeah, last year was my first year pro.
How'd you like the weather in Minnesota? Sucked, right? You're back.
I'm a Florida boy.
Yeah, man.
A Rio boy, very, very different from where I'm used to, but it was a great experience,
One thing I like, that's why I actually have you here, is because you went through so much as like a young kid, 14 through 20 until 2020, which is 5 years, right? 15. Yeah, I see 5 days in Brazil, or 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. You couldn't have had you still have the option to give up, like you started playing at a huge club. It's because you guys don't know like how big it is. Flamengo is the biggest club in Brazil, Vasco is like their rivals. They're the two biggest clubs in Rio in Brazil. He played national team as well, competed national team in played all throughout Italy, right?
Yeah, I got called up to the U.S. national team twice. I got 2 call-ups. So it was a good ass experience, to be honest.
Yeah.
Got 2 call-ups. U16. I played a tournament in Italy. We versed a bunch of international teams. Versed Brazil. I even versed
France.
Yeah, versed Brazil, and I versed 2 of my boys that I used to play with.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versed Brazil, versed Croatia, versed England, versed a bunch of teams.
Who
And
was the hardest?
the hardest,
Yeah. Who's like the team like you near there?
I think it was Brazil or England.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
A lot of the kids that I played that I versed, they're all in big teams today
Yeah.
in Europe, like one of the biggest players,
Really? Because like England teams, you think of like
played at
Manchester
Manchester
United and
Yeah, I played with Rodrigo, is a Real Madrid winger today. I versed Curtis Jones, he's a Liverpool midfielder today. So a bunch of big names that today are shining. You know, in
Wow,
European
man.
football, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so back to what I was saying was you played through, you lived that experience, you know, like that professional and stuff, like you said, mentioned earlier, stuff didn't go your way and opportunities were closing. And one thing I admire you a lot, you know, I talk to you about all this all the time, is you have that hunger inside of you. Like you don't give up. You didn't have an excuse like, okay, it didn't work out for me. Okay, what's the next step? You know, like what's next for me to be able to make it? Because there's always an option. You can either give up or you can keep on fighting for what you love and dream, which you're still doing to today. And that's why I admire you so much, because I know inside of you you're never gonna give up till you have no legs. You know what I mean? Yeah. So where do you even find that inside of you? Like what's your why? I don't know if you saw my TikTok. Yeah. What's your why in soccer?
My why is similar to yours. My family, you know, everything my family's been through, all the sacrifices they've done for me, you know, not just for me, but for my brothers. And I just kind of want to give back to them, you know, like I want to give them like a better life, you know. They have, not that they don't have a good life, but I just want to like contribute, give back that love that they gave me, you know, that support that they gave me most definitely. But I always used to speak to my parents, you know, as the time goes by, a lot of people stop and they give up, you know. I played with a lot of kids that like they didn't get no opportunities at no clubs. They weren't able to sign no
And I
professional
bet they were
contracts,
very good, right?
and they're very talented, but they don't have the same
Opportunity.
opportunities, you know. It's hard. And I see a lot of kids that I play with today just don't play no more. They just work. And yeah, so that's my vision, you know. I'll never give up until I get what I want.
So where are you at now in this journey?
So right now I'm a free agent.
Okay.
I'm trying to look for some options to sign for some teams this year still. Maybe in June right now if everything goes right. If you know, if God blesses me, and I know He will.
Mhm.
Just gotta have patience and
For sure.
stuff.
So what do you do? Like, are you doing like so you have an agent now, right?
Yeah.
So your agent sets up tryouts, or
Yeah,
how
so
does that work?
no, he speaks to a few clubs. He sends my profile, my resume.
Okay.
He sends my highlight tape from last season. And if it interests the club, if they need my position, they bring me in and they take a look at me and they offer me a contract or not. So right now we're currently trying to find some clubs that are looking for my position and stuff like that, so I can be able to head over.
You should have brought your highlight reel. We could have put it up on the big screen.
Yeah, no, it's
that would have
too
been
long. It's too long of a highlight reel. It's too long. We call
So what?
we call him Google because he's a midfielder. Like his dinks is like behind the back of the players.
Yeah.
So we call him,
Yeah,
and he actually might skill Google. Like he finds more than Google. You know, Google your search bar, you find better.
Yeah.
That's him in soccer. Wherever you are, he'll find you.
No,
We play around. We have a lot of, like we were talking about earlier, we have a lot of slangs in Brazil.
for sure. Okay, yeah.
And we used to say like acha mais que o gol. That means like you find like
More
you find passes or space where there's not, so you find more than Google. We play around like that, you know? You never need to find something, you go on Google and you search it up.
Yeah.
So you just play around.
So you're that guy.
find you.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
What's it called? What's one big setback you had? You have two. I'll give you two options to choose from. One question is, what's one big setback you had that you had you had to overcome, like mindset change?
Yeah.
Or the second question is, or you can answer both if you'd like.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of getting short on time, but we can give some more time. Or what goals and dreams do you have, and what are you planning to do to get there and achieve those goals and dreams? Those are both the questions I have for you.
Yeah. So I'll try to talk about a little both. Some setbacks that I had in my life were when I would have to transition from one club to another.
Mhm.
So my time, I had no more space at the club at the time, you know, and they're already trying to get rid of me. They're trying to release me, you know, and I wasn't happy at all. I wasn't playing my best soccer, you know. I just wasn't happy, you know, and they were trying to release me, and I kind of agreed, you know. I wanted to leave to try new opportunities. So as soon as I got released, that's a reason, or that's, I could say, an excuse for somebody just to give up, you know.
For
to
sure.
say, look, I got released, you know, it's too hard. I don't want to keep trying. But when that happened to me, you know, it's just a motivation for me to keep on trying. And I know that opportunities are going to show up. And especially, I know God, He has the best stored for me, and everything's not going to be easy. So everything in your life, you know, is not easy.
Right. No.
So that's one of the reasons why I want to keep trying, and I just want to keep going until I get what I want and reach the goals that I have. I have many goals, you know. My first goal was to sign a professional contract. I got that goal. Second, and I want to play in bigger leagues, you know, and just go from there. And maybe in the future, who knows, get called to the national team, you know, and play in Europe, one of the big clubs in Europe, and just, you know, live my life and do what I always dreamed of, which is being a professional soccer player.
And with that right now, you mentioned that you were a free agent today. I know, and I want you to explain how you're still on the grind. Like, I know every single day you're training. Like, you're in the office. Like, you don't post nothing. You're a really low profile guy. You don't. I know you're in the office every day working out and getting touched on the ball alone because you're investing in yourself, right?
Yeah. So, like I said, opportunities they show up when you least expect them. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta be ready. I try to be ready. I try to be fit as much as I can. So when it pops up, I know that I'm ready and I'm confident that I'm ready. Because the worst thing is when an opportunity shows up, you're not ready, you're not fit.
Yeah.
You're like, dang, I didn't know it was gonna show up, and I'm not that ready. So that's just what I try to do. I try to maintain my grind every single day. So when it pops up, I'm ready.
Yeah, man. Stay ready.
Dude, it was a pleasure having you on. I really want to say thank you for coming out here, taking time to talk to us. I know your story. You have a bunch of more story to tell. But, dude, I love you so much. I know for a fact, bro, that you're going to make it because you're only not going to make it in life if you give up. And I know you're not going to give up, you know, or you might come one day that you might change like your goals, you know, and I know you're going to do it. Whatever you put your head to, you're going to put your head to, and you're going to work towards that goal. So no matter what, I know you can count on me, bro. I know you're gonna make it, and it's just the beginning of all of our journeys. You know, Chuck has your journey, Michael has your journey, and bro, at the end of the day, like you are who you surround yourself with, and he's one of the people that I surround myself with all the time. You know, because I know his morals, and dude, I love all you guys. Like you guys are my 5 people, including Danny too. But he's not here right now. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, bro. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, bro. Good to meet you.
I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity here to just speak a little bit about my story, you know, just try to maybe motivate some young kids, you know, whatever it may be. If you want to be a professional athlete, if you want to be a entrepreneur, if you want to be a businessman, whatever it may be, you know, just never give up, you know, go after your goals, go after your dreams, and God will bless you, and have faith always. Amen. Never lose your faith, and stuff will work out. And then
Stay ready.
stay ready.
Stay ready always.
Stay ready always.
Yeah, done.
Good stuff.